Welcome to another episode of In the Mouth of the Wolf podcast, a program dedicated to the human-animal interaction, dogs, wolves, canine science, the ecosystem and environmental awareness. Whether you are a dog parent or a caregiver, a dog worker, an animal lover or worker, or an environmentally friendly person or activist, this program is for you. If you are none of those things but you happen to be listening, this podcast is for you too. The program is brought to you by AEDC, Anthrozoology Education Dogs Canines, and here is your host Marco Hadda. I am a canine researcher, dog behavior consultant, animals advocate and rescuer, and I've helped thousands of people in setting up a wonderful relationship with their dogs and other animals. Thank you for your support, for your time, for your patience, for listening. And now, let's listen our intro and enjoy the episode. I've been wondering a lot about this topic. It's one of those I've been thinking more than others. One of those I've been really dedicating a lot of thoughts and studies. We need to facilitate things and support others in understanding what's going to happen if I'm going to adopt a dog, right? Somebody may not be aware of some shifts happening in their life, and some other that I've already a dog in their life are still adjusting and discovering new layers where their life has changed or is changing due to the presence of a dog, right? So really, when a dog comes into our life and we adopt them so there is a first important shift that we need to make in our mindset, and it relates directly to the word adoption, right? Adoption means adoption. That is, we become the parent of that animal, right? The tutor, the parent, the person that is in charge for that animal, right? For that creature, right? So we're not really a owner, right? Even though in many societies and in a general perception of things, we still talk about ownership, dog ownership, but we know that we cannot own a dog as we own a car or a guitar or whatever other object, right? That's a living being, it's a creature. We cannot own that. We are a parent, right? And as a parent, we are responsible for many choices that we make for our dogs, and we are responsible of our own behavior when we have the dog around, our own behavior in our life now, right? So let's see what are the different layers, at least the main layers where we can identify that important transformation that occur when a dog comes into our life or is occurring if the dog is already in our life, right? So there is a first level that is the practical level. That level relates to the fact that we need to adjust our agenda, we need to adjust our schedule. We need to wake up earlier to give food to dog or go out with the dog, right? Or we need to come up earlier
come back at home earlier because a dog is waiting for us and is waiting for eating, for going out and do some pee or poo, and has been waiting maybe for a few hours. Oh, look at that! There's a dog coming around. You see, up here on the screen. So. And there are many other adjustments that we need to do due to the presence of a dog. We don't know, for example, where to leave the dog if we need to go away for a few days from the city, or we need to make other important choices around our house for our house, or a new person is coming to live in our house, and then we need to consider what's the response, what's the opinion, if you will, of our dog. The dog is gonna like that person or not? It may be a new boyfriend, or a husband, or a girlfriend, or a wife, or a new housemate. So we really need to think from the dog perspective, and think about every our action having the dog in mind, right? And adjust consequently. So we are gonna have less time for ourselves, for sure. We are gonna dedicate more time to another creature. We need to adjust our rhythm, our overall daily life rhythm to the presence of this animal, right? So this is, of course, obvious for some. For others, especially for those who are adopting a dog and are doing that out of an emotional enthusiasm, but maybe they haven't reasoned yet about the practical things to do. It's good to have this in mind. It's something you can cope with very well. You don't have to be scared about that, but be aware that there are all of those things that you need to consider that are going to change in your daily routine because a dog is in your life now, right? And those of you that already have dogs knows that very well, and they are going through also, and you are going through also some continuous adjustments, right? A second level where our own change, right? We are talking about our own change, our own transformation, how our life changes, right? A second level is the level of expectation, the level of self-criticism. Expectation are those ideas, those visions we have when we think, sometime, not always, but sometime, when we think, okay, I'm going to take a dog for this reason or for that other reason, because I need that, and I would like to have a dog so I would feel better in that type of situation. Namely, I want a dog that will be a guard dog. I want a dog that will be a companion for this type of adventure. I want a dog that brings me I can play with. He brings me the ball. We do all of those speculation, and then the dogs arrive and is all of the opposite of what we have been thinking. So we need to rediscuss our expectations, because most likely that dog is not going to correspond to what we have been considering, what we have been speculating about this creature that was going to come into our home, right? And that's for those that are going to adopt a dog, but also those that have a dog already. Sometimes we are stubborn and we keep thinking that our dog should do something as we have been considered, as we have been imagined before, right? And that's also a source of problematic relationships between dogs and people, among dogs and people, because some people may be stuck in what they believe a dog should do, their doggy friend should do, or what their doggy friend should become, how their doggy friend should behave, right? Some people do not change their perspective based on the nature, the real nature of that animal, and not on their expectation, on their imagination, on their will, and so on their needs and so on, right? So this is certainly a level we need to change, a level we need to work on, and we need to transform ourselves to be more grounded, to be down to earth and understand what every dog is, every dog is, what's the real nature of every dog, and we need to adjust consequently, right? All right. This is a second level where we need to change ourselves. A third level, which is also extremely important and somehow even deeper, is that dogs come into our life to teach us something. They are teachers, they are masters. They come into our life because to some degree we need to change something in our life, and we are stuck in our pattern, in our dynamics, in our behaviors, and this dog is put into our life to help us to change those things, right? So we need to be open and curious and interested in understanding, identifying those dynamics that relate to us, those behavior of us that may need to develop in another direction, that they need to be transformed in something else, that they need to change. We need to be open and identify those behaviors, those patterns, and willing to change those aspects of ourselves. And dogs, because they are mirror, because they are teachers and masters, because they are sensitive animals, because they are empathic animals, are there, and they can be a wonderful support. They can represent a wonderful support on our way of self-improvement, of self-transformations. By their behavior, they play, they behave in a certain way around the house, they have compassion, they have gratitude, they have courage, they have understanding of the reality. By their understanding of reality, by their way of behaving with others, by their way of behaving with us, we can get a lot of inputs, and consequently we can understand, what I would have done in that type of situation. My dog did like that. I would have done differently. I would have done like that in the other way. So maybe I can change this behavior of mine. I know this is not easy, especially if we believe that dog needs to do what we say instead of following what the dog wants, instead of following the nature of a dog, right? But conversely, if we understand that dogs can teach us something important for ourselves, then we open the way to a new us, to a new myself, to a new yourself, to a new person that we can become thanks to the help of our dog. And in that sense, how then dog transforms us? It transforms us because we need to be introspective, self-critical, observe ourselves, observe how do we behave with our dogs, and what type of feedback our dog gives to us every time, and be ready to adjust consequently. It's a long way to go. It's a long process, but this is one of the most valuable reasons why a dog comes into our life, why we may want to get a dog. In addition to the fact that it can be a company, a companion, in addition to the fact that it helps our health, because the presence of dogs and other animals too support our heart rate, our metabolism, our joyfulness, our mood, and so on. We know that. But in addition to that, there is another level that is a life-changing level, a search of yourself, a quest of yourself that a dog can facilitate, and in many cases can also lead us on the way to the right direction to reach ourselves. Who had dogs knows that. So be ready. Be ready is going to be an important part of your life if a dog comes around. Be ready, a dog will put you in front of yourself, in front of your own limitations, in front of your own beauties too, but also in front of your own shadows. And you will need to adjust and change consequently. If you are going to take a dog into your life, or if you already have a dog into your life, you're lucky. You're lucky. Because just by that, you are on the move inside. You are transforming yourself. But that process of transformation may get stuck sometime. And we lose the frequency, like on a radio station, which I like to do this metaphor often, right? A radio station, so you until you get the right sound. Woo, woo. In this case, the right sound is a bark, for example. It's a dog, the presence of a dog in our life that brings us again back on our way to ourselves. Keep this in mind, and good luck with your dog.
Here is your host Marco Adda, and this is In the Mouth of the Wolf podcast. I hope that you enjoyed this episode, and please let me know what aspect you liked most. Please support this program by reviewing the podcast, by reviewing this episode, by writing a comment, by subscribing to the podcast, whatever platform you're using to listen. And if you have any ideas or other comments, write to my personal email, marcogerardoadda@gmail.com. And if you wish to sponsor one or more episodes, you can become a supporter, a sponsor, or a co-author of the podcast. Meaning that you can suggest and we can work together on a specific aspect you would like for more awareness to be generated, or a story you want to hear on this program. Some people have already expressed the wish to support the program, and we are working around a media kit to make the support proposal easy and transparent. So if you're interested in supporting or sponsoring the program, just drop us a message to marcogerardoadda@gmail.com. You can find this email also in the description, and we will figure things out. We want for this podcast to be the voice of the community, that's for sure. The member, metaphorically speaking, the mouth of the wolf is the safest place you may happen to be. Stay tuned, be foolish and alive. Stay wolfy.